Why standing still for 10 seconds could reveal a lot about your future health. If you stay with me until the end of this video, you'll learn one simple 10-second test you can do at home, no equipment, no cost, that may quietly reveal how strong, balanced, and resilient your body really is as you age. And more importantly, you'll understand what the result might be telling you about your future health, independence, and quality of life. Now, you might already know this. It might even seem basic, just standing still, no movement, no effort. But the results are out of this world. Doctors, physical therapists, and longevity researchers have been paying close attention to this test because it often reflects what's happening deep inside the body, long before serious symptoms appear. For those of us in our 60s, 70s, and even 80s, this matters more than we realize. Balance isn't just about not falling. It's about your nervous system, your muscles, your inner ear, your brain, and how well they communicate with each other. When that communication weakens, it can quietly affect confidence, mobility, and even life expectancy. In this video, I'll gently walk you through why standing still for just 10 seconds can be so revealing, what different outcomes may mean, and most importantly, what you can do about it. No fear, no judgment, just clear understanding and practical hope. So take a breath, get comfortable, and stay with me. By the end, you may look at something as simple as standing still in a completely new way. Why something so simple matters. At first glance, standing still doesn't look like a health test at all. It feels almost too simple to matter. But that's exactly why it's so powerful. When you stand still, especially without moving your feet, your body is doing thousands of tiny adjustments every second. Your brain is processing signals from your eyes, your inner ear, your joints, your muscles, and even the soles of your feet. All of that information has to travel quickly and clearly, then come back as precise instructions to keep you upright. As we get older, those communication pathways can slow down or weaken. Sometimes it happens so gradually that we don't notice. We adjust without realizing it, holding on to furniture, walking more carefully, avoiding uneven ground. Standing still removes all those compensations. It shows what your body can truly do on its own. Researchers now understand that balance is not just a mobility issue. It's closely linked to cognitive health, muscle strength, nerve function, and cardiovascular health. When balance declines, it often means more than just weak legs. It can be a sign that the brain and body are no longer working together as smoothly as they once did. That's why this 10-second moment matters. It gives a snapshot of your whole system working together or struggling together. And the earlier you notice changes, the more power you have to respond. This isn't about fear, it's about awareness, and awareness is where real control begins. What the 10-second stand really tests. When doctors talk about this test, they're not just watching whether someone wobbles or stays upright. They're observing coordination. Balance is one of the most complex skills the human body performs, even though we rarely think about it. It's like an orchestra playing without a conductor. Everything has to stay perfectly in sync. Your eyes provide spatial awareness. Your inner ear senses motion and head position. Your muscles and joints send constant feedback about pressure and alignment. Your brain takes all of that data and makes lightning-fast corrections. When you stand still for 10 seconds, there's no distraction, no momentum, no forward movement to help you. It's pure coordination. As we get older, even small disruptions in this system can show up here first. Reduced blood flow, slower nerve signals, muscle loss, or subtle brain changes can all affect balance. What's fascinating and a little surprising is that many people who feel fine discover this is where their body quietly reveals the truth. This is why experts find the results so meaningful. They're not diagnosing disease in those 10 seconds. They're observing resilience. They're seeing how well your body adapts under the simplest form of stress. And adaptation, more than strength alone, is what helps us stay independent as we grow older. Standing still, it turns out, isn't passive at all. It's an honest conversation between your body and your future. Why this matters more after 60, 70, and 80. If you're watching this in your 60s, 70s, or beyond, this conversation is especially important. Balance tends to decline faster with age than many other physical abilities, and once it does, it can affect daily life in ways that feel frustrating or even limiting. Simple activities, getting dressed, stepping into the shower, walking outdoors, can start to feel uncertain. But here's the key point most people don't hear enough. Balance is trainable. It's not a fixed trait. The problem is that many people don't realize it's slipping until a fall happens. And falls are not just accidents. They're often the result of changes that were happening quietly for years. That's why a simple 10-second stand can be so revealing. It gives you feedback before something serious occurs. It's like a warning light on the dashboard, not a disaster, but a message, and messages can be acted on. For older adults, maintaining balance isn't just about avoiding injury, it's about preserving confidence. Confidence affects how much we move, how social we remain, and how willing we are to try new things. When confidence fades, activity decreases, and that can accelerate physical decline. This is where knowledge becomes power. Understanding what your body is telling you early and gently can help you stay active, independent, and engaged for many more years. The emotional side of balance. Balance isn't only physical, it's emotional too. Many people don't talk about the quiet fear that comes with feeling unsteady, the fear of falling, the fear of being a burden, the fear of losing independence. These thoughts often stay unspoken, but they influence behavior in powerful ways. When someone starts avoiding movement, their world slowly shrinks. Less walking, fewer outings, more sitting. Over time, the body adapts to that stillness, and not in a good way. Muscles weaken, reflexes slow, balance worsens. It becomes a cycle that feeds itself. That's why this test is not about judgment, it's information. If standing still for 10 seconds feels difficult, it doesn't mean failure, it means opportunity. It means your body is asking for attention in a very specific way. And here's something important to remember. Even people who struggle with this test can improve dramatically with the right approach. The nervous system is adaptable well into our 80s and beyond. It just needs the right signals. If you're still watching at this point, you're already taking a positive step. And just for a moment, if you're here with me, go ahead and type 1 in the comments below. Not for me, for yourself. It's a small commitment that says, I'm paying attention. what different outcomes may mean. Let's talk gently about results without labels or fear. If someone can stand still comfortably for 10 seconds, it often suggests good coordination between the brain, muscles, and sensory systems. It doesn't mean perfect health, but it does point to solid resilience. If standing still feels shaky or requires intense focus, that may indicate mild balance decline. This is very common with age and doesn't automatically signal danger. It simply means the system needs support. Think of it like vision getting blurry before needing glasses. If maintaining the position feels nearly impossible, that's a stronger signal, but still not a sentence. It suggests that balance systems are struggling to communicate efficiently. This can be influenced by muscle weakness, nerve changes, medication effects, vision issues, or inner ear challenges. What matters most is not the category, but the direction you move next. Balance reflects overall vitality. Improving it often improves walking speed, reaction time, and confidence all at once. This is why experts don't use this test to scare people. They use it to guide action. It's a starting point, not an ending. And no matter where you start, progress is possible. Your body is not broken. It's responding to how it's been used, and usage can change. The science behind the results. Behind this simple test is a growing body of research. Studies have shown strong links between balance ability and long-term health outcomes. Poor balance has been associated with higher fall risk, reduced mobility, and even increased mortality, not because balance causes these issues, but because it reflects overall system health. Balance depends heavily on brain health. The brain regions responsible for movement, coordination, and decision-making all play a role. When balance weakens, it can sometimes be an early sign that these systems are under strain. That's why clinicians pay attention. Muscle strength also plays a key role, especially in the legs and core. But strength alone isn't enough. Coordination matters more than raw power. That's why someone strong can still struggle with balance, while someone smaller may do quite well. Blood flow, reaction time, and nerve speed all factor in. Standing still becomes a window into how efficiently the body operates as a whole. This is what makes the results feel out of this world. Something so simple reveals something so complex. And once you understand that, you stop seeing balance as a minor issue and start seeing it as a vital sign of healthy aging. Why many people ignore this signal? One reason balance issues go unnoticed is because we adapt so well. We lean, we widen our stance, we move more carefully. These adjustments happen quietly, without conscious thought. They protect us, but they also hide the problem. Another reason is pride. Many older adults don't want to admit something feels harder. They've lived full lives, raised families, built careers. Asking for help or even acknowledging change can feel uncomfortable. And then there's the belief that decline is just aging, that it's inevitable. But that belief is outdated. Modern research shows that targeted movement can dramatically improve balance at any age. What's missing is awareness and guidance. The 10-second stand cuts through all of that. No story, no excuses, just feedback. And feedback is a gift. Ignoring balance doesn't make it go away, but listening to it can change the trajectory of your future. That's why this moment right now matters more than most people realize. The cost of doing nothing. When balance declines and nothing changes, the effects tend to spread. Reduced movement leads to muscle loss. Muscle loss reduces stability. Reduced stability increases fear. Fear reduces movement even more. This cycle is subtle but powerful. Over time, people may give up activities they love, not because they can't do them, but because they don't feel safe. That loss of engagement affects mental health, mood, and even memory. Social isolation can creep in. Falls are often the final, visible outcome, but the process started long before. And while falls are common, they are not inevitable. Many can be prevented by addressing balance early. The good news is that balance responds quickly to the right kind of practice. Small, consistent efforts can lead to noticeable improvements in weeks, not years. Doing nothing is a choice, even if it doesn't feel like one. And choosing awareness today is far easier than dealing with the consequences later. A gentle shift in perspective. Instead of seeing this test as something to pass or fail, try seeing it as information, a message from your body, delivered quietly and honestly. There is no shame in the result, only guidance. Standing still for 10 seconds doesn't predict your fate, it reveals your starting point, and starting points can always change. As we move forward in this video, we'll talk about what you can do with this information and how small, specific actions can dramatically improve balance and confidence. This isn't about pushing harder, it's about working smarter with how the body actually learns. Stay with me, because coming up, there's one approach that stands above the rest, especially for older adults, and it can make all the difference in turning awareness into real, lasting improvement. What most people get wrong about balance. When people think about improving balance, they often imagine standing on one foot or using complicated exercises. Some even believe balance is purely about leg strength. That misunderstanding stops many from making real progress. Balance is not about forcing the body to try harder. It's about teaching the nervous system to respond more clearly and calmly. Many older adults push themselves too aggressively or give up too quickly. If an exercise feels scary or exhausting, the brain goes into protection mode. When that happens, learning slows down. Balance improves fastest when the body feels safe enough to explore small challenges without panic. Another common mistake is inconsistency. People try something once or twice, don't see immediate results, and assume it doesn't work. But balance responds to frequent, gentle input. Think minutes per day, not hours per week. The brain learns best through repetition, not intensity. There's also the myth that if I haven't fallen, I'm fine. Balance decline shows up long before a fall. Waiting for an accident to confirm a problem is like waiting for pain before caring about heart health. Prevention is quieter, but far more powerful. Understanding these mistakes matters because avoiding them opens the door to real improvement. Balance training done the right way doesn't drain energy, it restores confidence. And confidence changes everything about how we move through the world.
The role of the brain in staying upright. Balance is often described as a physical skill, but it's deeply neurological. The brain is the command center, constantly predicting and adjusting. Every time you stand still, your brain is asking, where am I? Am I safe? What needs to change? As we age, the brain becomes more cautious. Reaction times slow slightly. Signals may take longer to travel. This doesn't mean the brain is failing. It means it needs clearer information. When balance practice is done correctly, it sharpens those signals. What's remarkable is how adaptable the brain remains. even later in life. Research shows that neural plasticity, the brain's ability to change, does not disappear with age. It simply requires the right kind of stimulation. That's why balance practice should feel focused, not rushed. When you stand still and truly pay attention to your body, you're not just training muscles, you're training awareness. Awareness strengthens neural pathways. Stronger pathways mean quicker, more confident reactions. This is also why balance improvement often leads to better walking, faster reflexes, and even sharper thinking. The brain loves efficiency. When balance improves, the entire system becomes more efficient. Standing still, done with intention, becomes a conversation with your brain, and that conversation can reshape your future mobility more than most people ever realize. Small daily habits that quietly improve balance. One of the most encouraging truths about balance is how responsive it is to small daily habits. You don't need special equipment, you don't need a gym. You need consistency and awareness. Simple actions like standing up slowly, pausing before walking, or paying attention to foot placement send powerful signals to the nervous system. These moments teach the brain to stay present in the body. Presence is the foundation of balance. Even how you breathe matters. Slow, steady breathing tells the brain there is no emergency. When breathing calms, muscles release unnecessary tension. Balance becomes easier when the body isn't bracing. Another quiet habit is changing positions more often. Sitting for long periods dulls sensory input. Standing up, shifting weight gently, and moving through space keeps balance systems awake and responsive. What surprises many people is how quickly these habits add up. Within a few weeks, standing feels steadier, walking feels smoother. Confidence returns, not because the body became younger, but because it became better trained. These habits don't demand effort, they ask for attention, and attention, practiced daily, becomes one of the most powerful tools for healthy aging. Why confidence is the hidden key. Balance and confidence are deeply connected. When confidence drops, movement becomes cautious. When movement becomes cautious, balance often worsens. But when confidence rises, the body moves more naturally, and balance improves almost automatically. Many older adults underestimate how much fear influences their balance. Even subtle fear changes posture, breathing, and muscle tone. The body stiffens, reactions slow, and stability decreases. The goal of balance training is not just physical improvement, it's emotional reassurance. When the brain learns, I can handle this, it relaxes. Relaxation allows faster, smoother adjustments. This is why gentle progress matters more than pushing limits. Each successful moment, standing calmly, regaining balance easily, builds trust between the brain and body. Trust replaces fear. Over time, that trust spills into daily life. People walk more freely, they engage more socially, they take small risks again, like stepping outside or traveling. Balance isn't just about not falling, it's about feeling at home in your body. And that feeling of safety is one of the greatest gifts we can protect as we age. When to pay closer attention. There are moments when balance deserves extra attention. If standing still suddenly feels harder than it used to, that's worth noticing. If you feel dizzy, unusually fatigued, or mentally foggy, balance changes may be part of a larger picture. Medications can also affect balance. Many common prescriptions influence blood pressure, alertness, or reaction time. Changes don't mean something is wrong, but they do mean awareness matters. Vision and hearing changes play a role as well. The brain relies on multiple inputs. When one weakens, the others must work harder. Supporting balance helps the system adapt more smoothly. When balance issues appear suddenly or worsen quickly, professional guidance is important. Balance is a signal, not a diagnosis. Listening early allows for gentle correction instead of urgent intervention. Most of the time, though, balance changes are gradual, and gradual changes are the easiest to improve if they're noticed. Standing still for 10 seconds becomes more than a test. It becomes a regular check-in, a moment to listen before the body has to speak louder. Why this one skill affects your entire life. Balance influences far more than we think. It affects how we stand, walk, turn, reach, and react. It shapes how safe we feel in our own homes. It influences independence more than almost any other physical ability. When balance is strong, movement feels effortless. When it's weak, everything takes more energy. That extra effort adds up over time, leading to fatigue and reduced activity. Strong balance supports cardiovascular health by encouraging movement. It supports mental health by reducing fear. It supports social health by keeping people engaged and mobile. This is why researchers pay so much attention to balance in aging populations. It's a central skill, one that quietly holds many others together. Improving balance is not about chasing youth. It's about preserving freedom. The freedom to move without fear. The freedom to live on your own terms. And that brings us to the most important part of this entire conversation, the most effective way to improve balance safely, efficiently, and sustainably at any age. The most effective method most people miss is balance improves fastest when you combine stillness with awareness, not constant movement, not strain, stillness. Standing still intentionally, calmly, and repeatedly teaches the nervous system to organize itself. It's like tuning an instrument. Each session refines communication between brain and body. The key is progression without fear. You start with what feels safe, you focus on breathing, you allow small adjustments instead of forcing control. Over time, the body learns efficiency. This approach works because it respects how the brain learns. The brain doesn't respond to panic, it responds to clarity. This is why the 10-second stand is not just a test, it's a training tool. Used correctly, it becomes the foundation for lasting improvement. And now, right before we finish, there is one optimal method that brings everything together. Simple, safe, and incredibly effective. The most effective method is intentional stillness with gentle challenge. Stand in a safe place, feet hip-width apart. Breathe slowly. Soften your shoulders. Then simply notice. As it becomes easier, slightly narrow your stance or turn your head slowly. Never rush, never force. Let the brain adapt naturally. 2 to 3 short sessions a day, just seconds at a time, create powerful results. This method works because it trains the nervous system, not just the muscles. Consistency beats intensity, calm beats force, and awareness beats effort. Here's the one point I want you to take with you. Your future balance is not decided yet. Standing still for 10 seconds doesn't predict decline, it reveals opportunity. You might already know it, it might even seem basic, but the results are out of this world when you use this insight the right way. If this message resonated with you, go ahead and type 2 in the comments below. It tells the algorithm, and more importantly, yourself, that you're choosing awareness and action. If you found value here, please like this video, share it with someone you care about, and subscribe for more calm, science-based guidance on healthy aging. Stay with me, because the simplest moments, like standing still, often hold the greatest power to shape our future.